Hey guys, Blazie here with little Eeyore here. Very happy Eeyore. Very happy Eeyore. So, I just watched Hereditary. I just watched the movie Hereditary a couple of days ago. Let's be real here. It wasn't. I didn't just watch it. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this video or not, but then I kind of had to. I kind of wanted to talk about this movie. So, alright. I love horror movies. I love horror movies. I have for a while, like I love watching horror movies like before bed. Even though my brain keeps going at night time, so then all I'm thinking about is horror stuff during night, so that's not very smart, is it? But I love watching horror movies at night time. There was like a good time in my life where like I just watched horror movies non-stop during the night, and I'll be up to like 4, maybe even 4, maybe even like 5 o'clock. And there was a couple times where I was just watching horror movies non-stop, and it was a little bit of a problem. But yeah, basically I love horror movies. I love all kinds of stuff, you know. So yeah, this is like a movie that was rated as one of the best horror movies of its year, and it's still known as like a really great horror movie. And so, but I just never got around to watching it just because I just wasn't really interested. Like a lot of the ghosty kind of stories, I'm just not interested in. They're just generally all the same kind of thing, and so I just never really bothered with it, because I did watch A Quiet Place and Bird Box, which were huge, and I hated those movies. I mean, there is something to love in them, but they have major problems. They have major problems that people just look past. And yeah, sure, just, switch your mind off, but I don't think that's a good excuse to have problems in your film. It's just, you're just meant to switch your brain off and just watch the movie and just have fun. I don't feel like that's a good excuse to have plot holes, major plot holes in your movie. But, yeah, so I don't generally, there's a lot of times when I don't generally like big movies. I don't like a lot of the Marvel stuff, for example. My favourite stuff is Guardians of the Galaxy. I like those movies, but everything else I don't care about. So, I wasn't sure how I'd feel about this movie. And I still don't know how I feel about this movie, because I don't like this movie. I know that much. I don't like this movie, but at the same time it was enjoyable, but in a very bad kind of way. So, let me explain why. So I'm not really I don't know. I will probably maybe get into spoilers, but this came out in 2018, I think? A good couple years ago now, so I think it's perfectly fine to talk spoilers and such. So I may not. Either way, yeah, okay, so this movie I don't think is good. It's a very slow movie, and one of the key things was the acting is amazing in this movie. Yeah, sure, Toni Collette. She is amazing. She's amazing in everything, though. Like, she's just a really good actress, and so they did a really good job, getting her on board. But every other acting is just okay. Like, it's not really all that great. The dad character was absolutely pointless. He was only there for that one scene towards the end, which is absolutely hilarious. I am sorry, but if people were just like, oh my god, I'm shocked or whatever to this scene, like, it was just so stupid, because it's not explained, for one thing, as to why or how that kind of worked. And, maybe I just wasn't paying complete attention, but I'm not really quite sure how that kind of worked. But, oh my god, his death scene, again, I'm gonna get into spoilers, whatever, it's been out for a couple of years. His death scene is absolutely hilarious. The CGI and puppetry or whatever is so bad. It was so bad. Like, this is meant to be like a, it was like a big movie. But this kind of movie that got this kind of fame and attention has this bad looking CGI, puppetry thingy, I don't know. It was just bad. And it was so funny. It was so funny. I had to rewatch it again and again just because it made me laugh at how sudden it changes into this weird, into how that. It's so bad. And God, okay, so, I'm not quite sure. I remember the name is Charlie. I can't remember what the actor's name is, but the actor playing Charlie, yeah, they were fine. They were fine. But the boy, Woof, something, Woof, something like that. I thought he was bad. Like, everyone points to, like, oh, I constantly see movie scenes and such on TikTok, which is cool. That's how I generally find a lot of my horror movies these days. Is random people will just put up random scenes on TikTok, and that's how I find horror movies these days. It's kind of great. It's kind of great, even though they generally spoil the best part. But at the same time, for the most part, most horror movies these days are crap anyway. So you know, when they show the best part, it's like, okay, I want to see what leads up to that moment. You know. Whatever. So there's one scene they always show with the kid in it. I'll just call him Wolf. I know it's something Nate Wolf or something like that. I don't know. I'll just call him Wolf. There's one scene with him where like he just absolutely freaks out, and it's like, yeah, it's a good freak out scene, but I've seen people do the same thing. You know, like it's nothing new, nothing really that great. Like it's fine, but like other people have done the exact same thing. I don't know why, because everyone only points to this one scene, and it's like, okay, but what about the rest of the movie? The rest of the movie, he's just staring off into space. He's just staring at the camera or whatever, and it's like, that's like, is that meant to be good acting? Because it's not. It's just, you know, his direction is just sit there. Or stand there and just look at something. That's all it is. But then we also have him crying. We have him crying. And it's the best fake crying ever.
What the hell? What are you doing? What happened?
Kill me.
Stop! Mom, please stop! Mom, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry! Mommy!
Every time he cried, I laughed. I am sorry, but every time he cried, I laughed. It is absolutely bad, forceful crying. And I'm not saying I could do any better, but I could do better. It's so laughable. It's laughable. His crying. You know, it's like yeah, it's telling like a kid to act. You know, to pretend to cry. Like kids can cry on command pretty much. They're really good. Like whenever you see a kid crying, you know, in movies, it's generally like you can tell that like that kid is generally probably crying. Very, very much so. But there are times where it's just like, okay, we want a kid to cry. And you can generally tell that's what's happening here. It's you just told him, okay, you have to cry in the scene. Or, you know, you have to make some crying noises. And it's just, I'm not even going to attempt it. I'm not going to attempt it myself. Because I'll just make a fool of myself like this kid did. I'm sorry, but I could not take any of his crying seriously. I could not. Oh, gosh. And then towards the end, like, there's one thing, that's like one thing that did kind of annoy me as well. It's not really revealed as like a demon until the last half hour of this 2-hour long movie. That like, you find out what's more or less going on. And yeah, sure, that happens a lot. It's just a matter of who's doing it kind of thing. And here, it's a bit all over the place as to what's going on. But it's not until, like, the last half hour. And then, like, whatever information you get doesn't make sense with the demon. To me, it doesn't. Because it's like, oh, if it's put into, like, a female form, it won't be happy. It doesn't like being put into a female form. But then apparently it's been in a female form the entire time, and life has been perfectly fine. The entire time, everything's been perfectly fine, just until this one point, until this one thing happens, and then shit gets real. But it's like, again, that doesn't make sense. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just basically it wants to be put into a male form, and like, I don't understand why they were so focused on putting it on this one family when they could have probably just did it on anyone. I don't get it. It's like, oh, because we called this movie Hereditary, so it needs to be in the family, I guess. I don't get it. I don't. I honestly don't get it. My idea for a movie called Hereditary, honestly, would have been like the grandma is insane, right? The grandma is insane, completely just out of it, blah blah blah. She dies, and then her sickness gets carried over to the next person in line, okay, like the daughter, like the mum character, and then she starts slowly going insane. She slowly sees things, she slowly sees ghosts or whatever. And then towards the end of the movie, she dies. Or like, right at the end of the movie, she dies. And then it shows the scene with her son, and he then sees something at the corner of his eye or something. And it's real brief, and that's how the movie ends. And it's basically, yeah, the grandma's crazy. When she dies, it passes to the mum, and then the mum slowly starts going crazy. She dies, and it passes on to the son. That would have been an interesting kind of thing called Hereditary. That's generally when something is passed down. The name doesn't really make sense here, basically, is what I'm saying. I don't understand why it's called Hereditary. Maybe I'm looking into it wrong. Maybe I've got the wrong idea. Maybe there's other definitions to it. Or maybe I got the definition just wrong. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the name, because I was expecting something different, basically, from the name. And what I got was just a basic demon, poltergeist, ghost story. But we also then have, like, I love Toni Collette. I do. I don't blame her one bit. I fucking love just how hilarious this scene is. Like, what? I'm sorry, but like, there's like, she'll be like clinging to the walls, and that's like kind of creepy, but it's kind of just hilarious because you're waiting for what she would do, right? You're waiting for what she does, and she does that! What even is that? Is she running along the walls? Is she swimming in the air? What is going on? I don't know, but it was so funny. I laughed so hard when I saw that scene. But yeah, again, I had to rewind back to understand what was even going on. And I still don't know what's going on. It's so funny. It's so funny. This movie's just bad. And then we got... And then it follows up... And then we get this.
Something a burglar would not want to see when he breaks into a house. Right.
Naked grandma! Ah!
Yeah, I'm sorry, but this scene here is, again, just so funny to me. Okay, yeah, I like this movie because the last half hour of it, as stupid as it then is just amazing how stupid and funny it is. It's... oh my god. I'm sorry, but Hereditary is not a good movie to me. It's really not. It's basic and just... yeah, like, a lot of people will point to the shock factor of them killing the kid and, like, how they did that. You know that's based on a real story? It's based on, like, a real thing that happened. So it's not even, like, original. Basically, he based it on a real thing that happened. Which is kind of just disrespectful to that person's family. You know, like, yeah, someone, it's basically, yeah, like, two people, yeah, driving along. One stuck his head out and, yeah, got his head chopped off or whatever. And the dude drove back with a dead body in it and just lay down to sleep in his bed, you know, and just, because he just didn't know what happened, what to do, you know, his mind was just like gone. And that's exactly what they did in the film. And so it's not interesting if it's just then stolen from like an actual thing that happened. Like, it's not like a well thought out scene then, if he just kind of took it from a real thing. Which again, I just find probably to be disrespectful in a way. But yeah, so Hereditary, bad movie. I would give it a 3 out of 10 foxes. I didn't like it. I did not like it. Like, yeah, again, Toni Collette, amazing in it. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I never really understood her character in the beginning. She was a bit weird in the beginning. Again, that was her character, not her. I like her. She's great. The dad character was useless. I had no idea if he was even the dad of the characters because he's never really showing any emotion or anything. He's just reading a freaking newspaper most of the movie or something like that. Sorry if I'm wrong, but you know, he's not really. He doesn't do anything to show that he's a parent. So, yeah, 3 out of 10 foxes. Hope you enjoyed this Blazie review, even though I know there's going to be a few clips in his video, but I kind of have to show them. But, you know, I didn't write a script. I'm just here talking about it, so that's still lazy of me because, yeah. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to our channel because I love you if you do. Hit that bell icon, and this fox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now.